Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave. Hello, everybody in the chat. Good morning, Brandon R. And good morning, Michael Jean Fleming. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We are talking Shadow Tracker number 108, a really creepy, crawly, modern character. One of the few modern characters that we've gotten in the classified line thus far. I could see this guy leading a group of Grim Vipers. Yeah, you're probably right. A lot of Grim Vipers probably would follow Shadow Tracker. He's a very unique character. So he was a character that was created during the Pursuit of Cobra line, and I have his vintage figure right here. And so he's an interesting character. I've always thought, well, Cobra should have some sort of a tracker to go up against Recondo and other characters similar to Recondo like that. And they never did. There was a lot of unique, like Brazilian and foreign characters, like Cobra Deleco and Cobra Mortal and that type of thing in the jungles of Brazil and Argentina and all that stuff that I thought would be kind of cool for G.I. Joe, but they never really got into the mainline Hasbro universe. They were always foreign figures. Brandon R. have this figure in front of me right now being detained by Mutt wielding an AA-12 shotgun. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, Brandon R. Good morning, 610 Yojo Daddy. What's up, Super Dave? Not much. Enjoying another fun day of G.I. Joe Classified, talking about Shadow Tracker. So let me get into a little bit of Shadow Tracker's history here. So again, he was a Pursuit of Cobra character. He was a Jungle Assault. Let's see. Shadow Tracker works for Cobra as a wilderness hunter and guide. Scorning conventional firearms, he uses traditional weapons from around the world. He tracks his prey using primal instinct. He hears the dark whispers of the jungle, senses distant footfalls in the earth, and tastes his victim's fear in the wind. When Skydive lands in the jungle, Shadow Tracker instantly knows and starts the hunt. Mission equipment: dark trap, reinforced escape-proof capture net. So he's interesting. He's a very interesting character. He looks really good. If you see that artwork, that package artwork, it looks really good. He's obviously a character from Africa. I think this was a unique addition to the G.I. Joe brand when he came out. And at that point, they were adding new characters into the brand that were outside the normal, a little bit darker, a little bit more esoteric type characters that were not your typical mustachio type villain like Major Blood and the like. And I like that. I like it when they're pushing that envelope as to storytelling and grittiness and darker elements and darker tentacles of Cobra that are out there that, you know, we got more fun and science and robots and things like that. But the human element, the more psychological element, and they started doing characters like that, characters like Wraith, characters like Scalpel, characters like him, Shadow Tracker, and I like that. Characters that were maybe GI Joes that switched sides and showed how they switched side and why they switched side, getting into a deeper understanding of the human condition, the human psyche, and stuff like that. The brand started getting into more of that type of thing, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, I thought it was more adult. I guess as I was growing older, I was getting a little bit more interested in deeper storytelling and deeper character, and so Shadow Tracker is one of those deeper characters. So let's get into his figure. So we got that beautiful skull type mask, similar to the vintage one, like that there. And so then we have that totem, that kind of those bones on his neck, and those blades on his arms and stuff like that. So he's 108. So then we've got the Target artwork with the QR code to nowhere. Again, I wish they would utilize that and have something on HasbroPulse.com for these, but they don't. And then we have that render artwork with a couple call outs to his figure on the side. And then we have the designations here. Based off of this, looks like he's got quite a large loadout. And then let's see what his designations have to say. Let's see. Environmental specialist. He's got arrow weapons. He's got that eye, which I don't have that eye on here. Several people had that eye, but I'm guessing that's some sort of tracker, maybe. That's what the eye is. I'm guessing because the people that have had it were kind of like tracking type characters. And then he has a, let's see, a environmental specialist jungle. So there you go. There's his designations for a Shadow Tracker. So then we have his artwork, his photography artwork by Shooting the Galaxy again. Brandon R. His box states stats roll Vanguard 34, gear, arrow, weapons 24, skill, stealth 34, mastery, classified 34. Where are you getting all that information from, Brendan R? Is that on Pulse or is that someplace else? His box stats. Where do you get the box stats from? Because I'm not sure where that is. Let me know where his box stats are. I would like to utilize that in upcoming videos. All right, it's on the box. Hello, Clement. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Yep. Pulse. Oh, okay. Iconography on the side of the box. Okay. Thank you very much. All right, that's new to me. So again, he was an exclusive through Walmart.com, and he was one of the Walmart Night Force type characters. And there was some speculation that you could see Shadow Tracker in the back of one of the packages, the previous Night Force packages, and we've gotten several Night Force characters thus far. We have them up there. We got Tunnel Rat, Big Ben, and Shooter, and then now Shadow Tracker for the Night Force branded line. But I don't recall which package he was in the back of. Do you guys recall which package had Brandon R? Did I copy the Vanguard part down wrong? I'm not sure. I know that the Vanguard is the Lightning. So if you go to the designation listing, Vanguard is Lightning. So his items are environmental specialist, which is the shield here, and then environmental specialist jungle specialty, and then he has arrows, which is arrow weapons, and then he has an eye, which I think the eye, I don't have the eye on my thing here, and it's a little eye with a line through it. I think that's tracking, but I'm not 100% sure. Michael Gene Fleming, maybe he can tell us in the chat if he's, you're in the chat, Michael Gene Fleming. Is the eye tracking? Checking now. Okay. So if you guys can, one of you guys can let me know which package supposedly Shadow Tracker was in the back of out of these packages, because I don't remember him being in the seeing him in the back of any of those packages. I looked at them pretty intently when we showed them all off and we did the reviews, but there was a rumor that Shadow Tracker was in the back of one of the packages, and I could never figure out which package it was. But maybe one of you guys can let me know in the chat. But he is part of the Night Force branded exclusive line from Walmart, and he's got the Energon crystals there again. But he's got that temple, that Brazilian temple back there, and it looks like, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a Cobra Claw. I can't really tell what that is. A Cobra Claw, possibly. Oh, Brandon R., you made a mistake. Not Vanguard. Yes, environmental specialist. Okay. So then we have that artwork on the side again, and then the render of all of his accessories. But looking at the back of this package, other than that whatever that is up there, I don't see anything in the back of the jungle. I do see the Energon again. So that's a major part of the designations for this branded line, is most of them have that in the back of their package. The Energon, the dark Energon back there. So it's Cobra, Shadow Tracker. And again, 108. So we'll pull him out of his box. Again, we are now up to 108. We've done 00 Snake Eyes, always up to 108. And then we've also done 14 vintage packaged figures. So let's put this away. We have Cobra, Shadow Tracker, 108, and Cobra. There you go. And he looks pretty creepy just out of the box. Like that. Let's see. We have a modern character like him is really cool. I'm hoping we get some more modern characters soon with the classified line, because I think a lot of the vintage characters and stuff that we've gotten over the years, the last 5 years or so, are now getting a little bit thin. So they've got to have to start getting into modern. Clement, Dave, I think it's a big boat on the back of the box. You think it's a big boat on the back of the box? What box? What box? On Shadow Tracker's box? That's up in the air, so it can't be a boat, Clement. It's got to be some sort of a air vehicle of some sort, a rocket pack or a jet pack or something. Somebody's flying back there, but it's definitely not a boat. if unless you're talking about another package that I'm not familiar with. Brandon R. The other things, skills and mastery, you have to go to the bottom of the roll poster on Hasbro Pulse. There are 3 little circles. The default is roll. Click on the third one for all skill mastery. All right. Thank you very much, Brandon. I appreciate that. That's very helpful because I've been wanting them to do that sort of stuff. So here he is with his artwork, his interior package from the outside again. Put that over there. Get all this out of there. Um, let's see. Brandon R. They really made it a PETA to figure out. Icons are so small on the box, and you have to look closer to get the value 4 times for each category. Oh, okay. Oh, a pity. Okay. Yeah. I just thanks to Michael Gene Fleming, he wrote all the designations down on these charts for me, and I use them. But once in a while, there's 1 or 2 that are not on there. Oh, pain in the. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Thank you very much. So I usually just use the designations. I don't usually go to Pulse to go through all that. So I just yes, Clement, you think it's a plane. So I just use the sheets that I have. If I end up with an updated set of sheets down the road at some point, hopefully I'll have more of them. But Michael Gene Fleming gave those to me at Joe Fest last year, and so I've been using them, and they're for the most part very accurate. There's only 1 or 2 that I haven't been able to find, like a couple of the chess pieces, like the rook and the knight, and things I don't have on there. That I don't have on there, and I think that I is a tracker, some sort of a tracker. There's 1 or 2 little things here and there that are not on there, but most of it is on there. Okay, I just found a better listing of the icons on the UK version of Pulse. Let's see if I can get this to go through YouTube. Comments does not like URLs, so replace each space with an A. Okay. Thank you, Michael Gene Fleming. 610 Yojo Teddy. I gotta admit, even though I knew he was part of the Night Force, Dark Energon, I have him currently with my Dreadnought display, but now I think I'm going to put him with my Mole Rats. Thanks for the reminder. Hey, you're welcome. That's why we do these videos, to help each other out. You guys help me out. I help you out. We have fun. We talk. We discuss stuff. It's like having a bunch of my friends over every morning to just talk G.I. Joe. I love it. Oh, the eye is stealth. The eye is stealth, Brandon R. Okay. So there's been 5 or 6 people that have had that eye, and it makes sense. Stealth would make sense for a tracker character. But yeah, so maybe Michael G. Fleming is going to get me a new updated list and send it to me through Messenger. You have my Messenger, right? Michael G. Fleming, David T. Allen. TNT? Do you collect Transformers? Yes, I do collect Transformers TNT. Thanks for joining us. You're a new person in the chat. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Thanks for joining us. Michael Gene Fleming. Iconography, not iconography. Oh, okay. Funny. So here's Shadow Tracker. Oh man, you're funny. Here's Shadow Tracker. So he's got that really creepy skull mask. I don't know. Right off the bat, I don't like that paint job on the skull mask. I would have liked to have gotten a less gray and more green, but it's okay. But I don't know. Based on his package, both packages, in fact, I liked more of the green. See, if you look at that, that's way more green than the figure has on it. And the same thing with this. There's more green than the figure has. So I would like to have gotten a little bit greener on that mask. That's just me right off the bat, right out of the box, looking at this. Michael G. Fleming. Okay, the URL still did not go through. I have you have messaged me. Okay. Thank you, Michael G. Fleming. We'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. But you can see he has that call out of that bone necklace. And then he has some bones on his wrist guards here, and that extra bone face on his shoulder pauldrons. And he's got kind of like this pelt, this like animal pelt that's on here with rope, golden rope, and some other like ritual ornaments on the side there. And he's got a secondary um, uh, piece here with a lot of armaments and ammo pouches and stuff like that. He's got another secondary on this side on his right leg with a holster there, and then he's got another leg piece armor there on his left leg as well. He's got a bit of like flame color on his boots there with some armor and some knee pads that look really good. He's got some yellow armor on different parts of that chest piece. You can see on the edges of his chest armor. It's got some yellow deco there in color apps. He has a little bit of deco in his hair, his dreadlocks hair. He's got a little bit of green in that one there, a little red there, but and then some more green over here. Overall, he's a really cool looking figure. He's got some deco in like his jewelry on his ears as well. There's a little bit of red there on both of his earrings. Like he's got those little earring things that hang down with the holes in them. So there's a lot of little deco hits. The leather, the pelt here, the animal pelt has got some different deco hits on it, different layering there. So there's a lot of really nice elements to this figure. I just wish it matched more like the package, and the face print was a little bit lighter. He's got some bands on his arms as well. He's a sturdy looking figure. He's very strong looking. He's not a large figure, but kind of a medium size. But overall, I think he's really, really nice. His boots are really cool. Like I said, there's a lot of layering with his costume and stuff like that. His uniform. It's definitely a unique character. Definitely a different type of character than we've gotten from Cobra in the classified line. And I'm glad that they're starting to stretch their reach when it comes to Cobra operatives and bring some different stuff into the brand with classified. Hopefully we'll get a lot of other characters in the future, and they're going to be really cool as well. But overall, he looks really good. Let's see, Brandon, I like to think he captures green shirts to feed to Crocmaster's pet. Wow, that's a little bit dark there, Brandon R. I like the whole Predator vibe they had going on with this came out in the 25th anniversary line. Bobby World, good morning. Thanks for joining us again. Lone Dragon, thank you for joining us. Good morning. You don't have Shadow Tracker yet? 108. He's so far he's been pretty interesting looking at him, but we'll get more into it. Good morning, Sean Jones. Thanks for joining us. Yo, Joe, bro. Good morning. So let's get into some of his accessories. If you look at this one here, the vintage one, he's got quite a loadout. And I showed you the package, the classified package, and he's got a lot of stuff that was on that package. So let's get him opened up. and see what he's got in here and see if it equals that loadout on that vintage version. So we got the GI Joe Cobra uh, bag again, and then we got the Legal and Indicia gobbledygook. Put that back in there. Put him over there, and let's see what we have here. So first off, we have this big bow, which I think this is not good. This is not good. It's a bow. It's not supposed to bow as a bow. You get it? So they're still giving us these gummy weapons. I'm not that happy about that. I'm not happy about gummy weapons. Um, but we'll see what we can do with it. It's a compound bow. I think it's an updated compound bow from the Storm Shadow and Zartan one. Looks much more detailed. There's a lot more detailed in that than there was in the previous one. He's definitely a much bigger hunter than the other trackers, obviously, because he's got the ultimate weapon here. Look at this thing. It is loaded out. All right, so put that over there. Then let's see what else we got. It looks like we got Barbecue's axe. So that's the axe that came with Barbecue. It's got some really nice detail on it as well. So far, none of these accessories have any deco on them. No colored decos. Put that over there. Then we have a backpack, a quiver, kind of a quiver backpack for some arrows and some clips and things that he could put different things on. So I like the fact that they're giving these things, these little clips and these little holster things for other items so we can carry everything on there. Eek. Michael Gene Fleming. Yeah, I know, right? With that accessory being bent like that. Then he's got an arrow there. And then he has two different face masks. All right. So he has that face mask there. That's kind of see-through, glow in the dark. Looks pretty interesting. And then he has a skull one, which I like the skull one a lot. That's kind of cool. That has a couple of deco hits on it with the eyes, the teeth, and some of the stuff on the sides. There's some deco on there. So that looks really cool. Both of those masks. Let's see. And then what else? He's got a kind of a Bowie knife. Has a little deco, silver deco with a black handle there. So let's see what else we have. I think that is it for him. So we got everything out of there. Now let's see where we can put all this stuff. I'm wondering if this green mask comes off. I'm going to take this, see if I can get that off. I don't know. Brandon R., you have this. Does that green mask come off? Or does it have to go over? Do the other ones go over that? Well, let's see. I'm guessing that goes over it, maybe? I don't know. So I'm putting that over his face like that. No? It doesn't come off? Okay. So then how does this go on there? How does it stay on there? Let's see. I'm trying to clip it on there, but it doesn't seem to want to go on there. So that's where you get that more greenish tinge, I guess. But it doesn't really want to stay. Doesn't want to really stay on there. Over, you think. Sticky tack, huh? Um, Mine is literally in his hand. Oh, okay. Well, I don't like that. I like it when you can carry everything on the figure. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to get that to stay there. Hopefully it'll stay. I'm gonna put his backpack on his back. He has a little bitty hole there. It kind of goes like on the side. So let's see. We got that on there. So it kind of looks like a uh, shoulder thing over his back on there. And then he has um, three little holster things on there. So let's see. I'm gonna put his knife in the one on his leg. Um, I hope that'll go on his leg. Uh, Maybe. No, I guess it doesn't go on his leg. I don't know. All right, so here's the arrow holder. Arrow can go in there. They put a little hole in the backpack, a little hole in the backpack, so you can stick an arrow in there, and it slides in there like that, which I like. I think that's very cool that you can do that. I'm gonna try to put his bow on his back on the back. I don't know if I'm gonna get it in there or not. We'll try. Yeah, I got it in there. So then that, oops, something just fell. Oh, that was his mask just fell off. Uh, let's see. All right, so his mask just fell off. Let's see. Where can we put this knife? I guess I could put his knife there. So I'm trying to get all of his accessories on here. And then now I got to figure out where the axe goes. I guess the axe goes there. Yeah, I guess the axe goes there. So, so I got his bow in there. I got his knife in there. I got the arrow all on that backpack. Everything's on there. And then I put the axe on the side. There's another holster there where you could probably put the maybe not. I don't know what that extra holster is there. Why they have that there. And then he has these two extra masks, which it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense that he comes with two extra masks, but then you can't utilize them. You can't put them anywhere. And if you put them in his hand, I guess, like you did, Brandon R., I don't know why he would just be carrying his mask. It doesn't make sense why they would do that. But I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna try that and see. So yeah, I have his one mask in his hand like that, like he suggested. Um, and then the other one, I guess, is just ornamentation. Um, Something that he could do some ritual with, or some sort of occult ceremony or something like that when he's sacrificing his people, his bad guys, that his adversaries that he's tracking. I really should have a sheath on his boat for the Curie knife. Yeah, I think you're right. I went with the neon faceplate personally because I like to lean towards tech over fear factor with the skull. All right, 610 Yojo Daddy. Brendan R. No, I meant the figure was in my. I looked and saw you use sticky tack to keep the mask on. Oh, I see. So you put your figure was in your hand. Well, then I don't know how else you're going to keep that mask on. It doesn't want to stay on. So I don't like putting other things on the figure like sticky tack, glue, tape. I don't think if you're going to make a toy, if you're going to make a figure, it should be able to either carry everything it's supposed to, and everything should be able to be worn properly on the figure. You should not have to do something artificial to put that on there. So I don't like that at all. I'm wondering if this other skull goes on this shoulder, because there's one on that shoulder, and I wonder if this one can go on that shoulder there, or not. Maybe not. No, it doesn't look like it. The skull looks like it. Now, see, look, the skull mask looks like it stays on. It sticks in there, but the see-through mask does not. Um, so at least I got everything on him. He's holding the one mask. He's got the other mask on his face. He's got all of his accessories on him. So that's the main thing. That's what I like, is when you can get everything on the figure itself. I appreciate that. You know, I'm going to get a stand, and we'll put him on that and see if how he stands up. Um, see if he holds up on the stand. Um, so he has pretty much all the same articulation points that most of the classified figures have. Uh, he's got a lot of secondaries that covers up a lot of his articulation points. He's got the secondary. No, he's got the butterfly shoulders there. He's got the double pinned elbows, the double pinned knees. He's got the ankle rockers. He's got the wrist articulation. He's got the thigh and calf articulation. He's got the main leg and crotch articulation. He does have a ab crunch underneath this secondary, and he's got the head rocker articulation. I don't know. I don't think he has. Let me see if he has the second. Yeah, he does have the secondary ankle articulation on there. So that's good. He doesn't have the extra wrist articulation, the secondary wrist. So that's the only one he's missing. But I got him standing on his stand. He looks pretty good. He looks pretty imposing, like that. Overall, I wish those masks, maybe if I pinch the mask a little, maybe it'll stay on a little bit better. I'll have to fiddle with it and play around with it. But I like him. He's a really cool character, different outside the box for Cobra, and that's what I like. That's the fun thing about Cobra, is you get all these different creepy crawlies and all these different weird adversaries and stuff like that. And Classified have been doing a really good job classifying up a lot of the bad guys. With some of the newer ones we've been getting, they've really been going to town with a lot of the newer bad guys. We'll get to them when we get to them, but they've been doing an excellent job with them. And Shadow Tracker was a good sign in that direction as to where they were going with some of that. And the Mole Rats was as well. So I do like a lot of these guys. I want to get into a lot of those shadowy areas of Cobra that we didn't see that much in the vintage line, other than like Cobra La and stuff like that. So what do you guys think? Did you guys think Shadow Track is a cool addition to the line? Do you think we need to get more newer characters into the line? Do you think Classified did a really good job with this, or do you not like this that much? It's kind of good. It's on the positive side for me, but there's a couple of little weird things with the fact that the other mask doesn't come off, and these masks are a little bit tricky to stay on, and some of the accessories, the way that they have them on him, are in weird places, and the fact that he came with that gummy bow is a little disconcerting to me. I don't really care for that that much. I hope they fix those gummy weapons soon. But overall, he's a positive. I would say more positive than negative on this one. I was really looking forward to getting to him because of the uniqueness of the character. Brandon R. The fur on his gauntlets should have been a bit colored from the black part. Too small gripe. I'll have to paint myself. Yeah, I think maybe there's a lot of deco hits on this. There's a good balance of deco hits on this. But yeah, I think those uh those fuzzy parts probably should have been beige or cotton or whatever. 710 figure overall. I like this figure a lot. Loses a paint uh loses a paint over small details like you mentioned. Yeah, I think it's not a terrible figure. I think it's a much more um cool figure in the positive than he is in the negative. There are a couple of negatives, and it's all accessory related for the negatives. I think the figure is very well balanced. I like the color tone. I like the hair because the hair, there's like some paint in the hair. It looks like purplish, like Dreadnoks would look. So I think they did a really good job overall. But yeah, there's definitely some accessory problems with it. But I like it. I do like it, Brandon R. You're not going to have 100% on all these characters and all these figures. And there's only been a couple that I thought were like through the park, through the goal line on the figure itself. But they've done very good, and they're getting better as they go along. It seems like we're getting better and better as it comes to where we are right now in the line, which is nearly 200. They've done some really good work over the last year and a half, from I would say 24 to 25. Really, they've picked it up and they've really done a good job. Um, what do you guys think about new characters? I've touched on this point a few times when we've gotten characters like Shooter, we've gotten characters like Kamakura, we've gotten characters like Helix. But now we're getting into Cobra, newer Cobra characters. Do you want more newer characters from the 2000s? Because there's a lot of really good characters in the 2000s, and a lot of newer versions of existing characters that we haven't gotten to as well in the modern era. Like there's some really beautiful in this Pursuit of Cobra line. There's some beautiful like lifelines, snow jobs, a lot of other bad guys. Like there's a really cool Raptor version that they did. There's a cool version of Night Viper. There's a cool version of Zartan. There's a lot of really nice figures during the Pursuit of Cobra that I think are standouts. And I wonder if they take the vintage figure and they use the vintage as the beginning, then they touch it up and they look at the modern Pursuit of Cobra and try to improve it. One of the coolest parts of the Pursuit of Cobra that I like was the zombies. I love those zombies. They also did some cool figures with the G.I. Joe Renegades during that period as well. Um, but overall, I think this one is a very good addition to Classified. It's a positive point where we might be getting some different stuff. Like I said, Wraith. I would love to get a Wraith. I would love to get Scalpel. I would like to get Venomous Maximus. A lot of the cool Viper variations and different creepy crawlers, the Manimals that were in the modern era, and stuff like that. So I would like to hear from you guys what modern era characters and figures you think would be excellent and standouts for the Classified line. So, our next Brandon R. New characters are great. I'll take a Shadow Tracker over any Sky Patrol or a Space Joe any day. Oh man, Brandon R. You don't want to see Payload or any of those space guys? I love me some space. I love it. I can't imagine a deluxe payload. My God, it's going to be fantastic. And also, as a legacy, maybe we'll get an astronaut in the legacy. I don't know. I agree with you, Brandon. I would love to see more newer characters, but I do love me some space characters. 610 Yojo Daddy. Did feel Wolf Spider was lackluster, though. Well, we're gonna get into Wolf Spider in just a minute. I love Wolf Spider. Oh, so there you go. See, that's the thing about uh, people's views and how they like things and don't like things. We all have different opinions and stuff like that. So 109 is gonna be, since you mentioned it, our next figure. It's gonna be another Night Force related figure, and it is gonna be Parth Varma, Wolf Spider, is our next character, and that will be tomorrow. Um, and so hopefully I get um, a good review of that figure. But it's a completely new character we've never gotten in this line before. Original, completely original for G.I. Joe and this brand. Classified created it. Let's see. Thought he was cool. Could use a color change. Get rid of the yellow. Sean Jones. Yojo 610 Daddy. I still like Wolf Spider. Sean Jones just felt he could have been better. All right. Brandon R. 610. You agree on Wolf Spider, not enough to discern him from, say, Beachhead. Interesting. There was an interesting beachhead that was in the 90s, very similar. It looks very similar to this Parth Varma version or this character. So when we get to him, we can discuss him a little bit more. But he is going to be 109, and it's going to be another Night Viper, another Night Force character for this line, exclusive to Walmart again. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. But interesting points. You guys can bring those all up tomorrow, and we can discuss that with him, because I look forward to that. Because I do want new characters. I want new iterations of things that we've gotten in the past, like, say, like Arctic Duke, just as an example, or Desert Scarlet, or Pilot um, Scarlet, or whatever. I do want to get that type of stuff. There have been versions of those type of things, and I would like to get stuff like that. So their goal in making Parth Varma, in doing Vipra and Mole Rats and things like that, is to build what they're doing, and they wanted other characters, and I guess they didn't want to spoil Ripcord or Crazy Leg for the HasLab Dragonfly, so that's why they created Parth Varma. And the it's weird because we got a lot of paratrooper characters in this line in the past. We have characters like Hit and Run. We have, like you mentioned earlier, we have all these Sky Patrol characters. Why didn't they just make Parth Varma one of them, right? But they made a new character, and so they added a new paratrooper to the line. Um, I have Marine Sniper Scar. You're funny, Brandon. What'd you do? Take your shooter and put a scarlet head on her or something? Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Different characters and different uniforms. We've gotten different versions of Gung Ho. We've gotten different versions of Beachhead. We've gotten different versions of Shockwave and things like that. And I don't mind that. I don't mind different versions, because they're not going to be in the same LCS at for every mission. They're going to be in the desert. They're going to be in the jungle. They're going to be in the swamp. They're going to be fighting in the air. They're going to be fighting on the ocean. So they should have different versions. And that's why I'm really looking forward to Longshoreman Shipwreck so much. I'm like, we desperately need that. And they kind of did that with Night Force, Beachhead, and Quick Kick. They gave us a different Quick Kick, because obviously he's not going to be selling fudgy bars in the Arctic in his one uniform. He's going to be in military uniform fighting battles. So it makes sense that they would do another Quick Kick. Brandon R. No, the Marine Sniper figure alternate head is Scarlet on her Aura file card. It lists Marine Sniper School among her accolades. Nice little Easter egg. Very good. Thank you for bringing that up, Brandon R. I think I read that on her card, her vintage package card, and I just forgot it. I have so much stuff in my head, it's hard to remember everything. But thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. That is really cool. 610 Yojo Daddy. I get I I get that, Brandon R. Um, so I don't know. It's a balancing act, you know. When they can create new characters, I want new characters if it makes sense. But I would like to see new versions of characters as well, not necessarily redecos in Tiger Force or Python Patrol or Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders. I think Night Force is a really cool way to get new characters and new versions of characters, and they've done that actually with Night Force, and that's the unique thing about the classified Night Force that we've been getting. For sure, Brandon R. So I hope you guys appreciate this one. This is a bit of a shorter video because we didn't have much on the history of him. Um, I know people that worked on the modern era, like Corey Cantaloupe. He did the zombies and stuff like that, but I couldn't figure out who worked on this to find out more information on it. But um, I like it. I think it's a good addition to Classified. It's a good addition to the GI Joe brand. So I hope they continue that. So you guys know who our next one is. I want to say thanks everybody in the chat for joining us. Thank you everybody after the fact joining us in the replay crew. It's very very cool of you guys to watch after the fact and comment and get involved. The more we get involved, the more we share. That's the number one thing we could do right now, to share these videos to try to grow the channel. We're heading towards the 200 subs now, so I appreciate all of you guys' efforts in that. Hit the notification for upcoming episodes. I'm going to have a large episode coming up. It's going to be a really cool episode. It's going to be multiple reviews in that, and we're going to be showcasing a new faction of Cobra in that video. It's going to be a large video, though. Great show, Dave. 610 Yojo Daddy. Thank you very much. Brandon R. Good times. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it, Brandon R. As always. And 610 Yojo Daddy. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. And the same with you guys. So this is a Cobra video. So we're going to go with Hail Cobra! Yay! Take care. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Sean Jones.